Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Lights Off Podcast. If you haven't already, subscribe. But today I'm really excited to have current Kiwi Fern and current NRLW player Maitua Feterika. How's it going, Miles?
Good.
For those that don't, for those that don't know you, well, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Maitua Feterika. 28 this year. Yeah. What up here? I was the accent guy.
Okay.
I have a big family. I come from a big family. I have 5 brothers, 2 sisters. I think altogether, nieces and nephews, there's 11 of them. Maybe 12 on the way. Nah, jokes. I was brought up in Otara, but now I'm a Mangri girl. So from Southside, love footy, love God, and definitely love my family. So yeah.
Cool. Very nice. And at the moment, you're obviously back home. Welcome back. But
Thanks.
you're not in your house at the moment. So
Not quite, almost there.
almost, but didn't quite make it. So whereabouts are you at the moment?
Pardon, sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm actually in isolation. Yes, 14 days. But yeah, it's pretty hard, eh? Like, I think I got 3 more days left.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but it's just dragging on. Like I think this weekend it's just gonna drag on. Just like today, I was like, yeah, get up, do my workout and everything. But man, it's just been dragging on. But I'm excited to get out of here.
Yeah, I bet. And how come you're in Iceland? Where you been?
Pardon? Because I came from Sydney, yeah.
Don't ever bring your fake.
I came from Sydney. Yeah, and I'm back home for good. So excited for what's next. And with all this coronavirus going on and whatnot, I've enjoyed my time in my isolation. More time with God, more time to plan for me, to prepare myself when I go home, like what I have to do next. Just trying to keep active and healthy. It's funny because when I coming into that isolation, I was like, yeah, bro, I'm just gonna eat whatever, live my best life. But God was like, nah, bro. So I'm actually shocked that I stick to my routine of doing my workout and stuff. But I'm learning like stuff about myself too, like what I eat, what I drink, my sleeping plan, everything. But I wish I had that mindset ages ago. But yeah, this isolation has actually helped me learn more about myself.
Actually, while we're there,
Yeah.
So you've come from Sydney, Australia. So for those that don't know, what was your journey from being in New Zealand and then in Sydney? No, you Sydney, and then back home. Can you take them on a journey of where you've been lately?
Yeah. So 2018, I just told my sister I'm gonna go and try it out, go and see what I have over there. So I moved to Brisbane 2018, and then I was there I think for a year, and then I got a contract for the Dragons, so which made my move to Sydney, and I just kept flying back and forth during the season and stuff just to get that family fixed. But yeah, ended up going back to Sydney this year in Feb. But to be honest, going back to Sydney, I did not know why I was going back. Like, to me, it was just like, yeah, okay, Monkey stays in Sydney, she's got to go back. But with me, I was like, actually don't know why I'm going. Like, yeah, it's footy and work. But I think, yeah, for me this time around was actually just going for a holiday because God actually had a plan for me here. So that's why I'm back here. But moving to Australia has helped me be the person I am today, not just the Maitua, but like, finding myself and like being a professional rugby player, just being me off the field and stuff. I've grown more in my spiritual life now. So it's been rough, man. Honestly, moving away from home is not easy. Because I'm all about family. Moving away was the hardest, but I think moving away, I did it for myself, because usually I would just do everything for my family. Like, oh, you should do this team, you should make this team, you should go play for this team and whatnot. But it felt like that trip was for me, to find myself again, to do it for myself. So I'm actually glad and praise God that I actually moved over to Oz. Because I wouldn't go through all of that and then come back home. So I think for me, personally, going there was just my selfish way of my plans. But God had a plan for me here. And at the time, I didn't see all of that. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to go and see what's over there. But as I made those teams, it still wasn't enough for me being over there. Like, I was just moving. I stayed with like cousins. I stayed like with friends, and it wasn't enough for me. So I think God was like, "Man, you need to pack your stuff and come back home." So I'm actually excited for what's next for me, coming back home to see my family, especially to see my mom, because I haven't seen her for like 3 months now.
Wow.
And I get out next week on my birthday, so it's like they said, "Oh, you planned it."
Yes.
But yeah, I know God has so much more stored for me, and I just it's just this fire of like, go. Right now, I'm in the spiritual walk, like that. The world needs a voice, and I'm like, use me. But God's like, you can't go. I can't use you if you're doing it with them. Like, if you're in the mix of the world and stuff. So sorry if this is just turning into another spiritual, but yeah, that's me, man. Moved to Oz, just one of those girls from South Auckland, moved to Oz, chased their dreams, and then God was like, yeah, come back and do my plan and my call. So good to be back.
Oh, that's cool. And we're pretty much like very similar in our journey. With moving over and that. And when you first moved over to Oz, how did you find it? Because I know for me it was like, I have a bit of family over there, but for that first year it was really tough. I was the same as you. I flew back I think like 4 times in that first year. So what was like some of the main challenges when you first moved?
It was a struggle. I'm not gonna lie, it was a struggle. Like, and I thank God that we crossed paths, like even before that we moved to Oz, because like when we caught up, we were like, we were just talking about like how it's all changed when you move to Oz, how they live their life, and growing up with us, like seeing a Kiwi, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like seeing your home when you see another Kiwi sister out there. So having you along there was it made my journey, enjoyable. But just moving over was so hard, because it was like obviously I was starting all over again, like no job, no friends, like it was literally a struggle. And I think for the first 2 months, I literally cried. Like, I would just cry most of the nights going to sleep, just crying. Like, I'm like, why did I do this? But I've always been that person, like, if you start something, you got to finish it off. So I wasn't gonna, and because when I left, these were the words that people would say to me: "You're not gonna last. You're not gonna last." Like, I'm back, but like, you're not gonna last. It was like they're gonna wait for me to fail or fall or whatnot. So that was my drive, that I'm gonna prove them wrong. But like I said, it was for myself. So it was a struggle, and I always had to come back to be grounded to carry on. So I couldn't just be like, yeah, I'm the man, G. I made this team. I made it over. I got all of this and that. But nah, it was like, my family was like, nah, G, you're not the man. But so every time I made a team or started like a camp or something, I always came back to keep myself grounded, like coming back to where from home, like coming home was just to humble myself, and to remind me why I moved. So yeah.
No, that's cool. And over in Brizzy, what was like footy like over there? Because I know it seemed quite different playing footy in Oz than it is here back home. What was your experience through club and then through some of the other teams that you made there?
It's so much different. Like of course they have a lot of resources and they help you and whatnot, but like the drive that they have, it was just, I was shocked. I was like, so excuse me, oh my gosh, these girls are so serious. But I was coming from a perspective of like, man, I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna be the man and just go in there and do my thing. But the experience of the footy, it taught me to work harder, like to drive more, to train harder. So when I got there, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is it. Like if you want to come and play footy here, this is it. You got to be all full in and ready to take on the challenge. But I think what helped me, not put my name out there, but what helped me get through the club footy was just be me. Like have that Kiwi vibe, and just be me. And it was, at first I was just like, okay, I'm gonna back off a bit and just do my thing. But it reminded me, like, just be you. And then after that, I didn't realize like being me would make a lot of Aussie friends, eh? But yeah, it just. But just the club level itself, man, I was blown away. Like there's so many talent there in Oz, and the way they prepped themselves, everything. It was just a whole new level of me because before I moved over, I was just like, my life was just drink Friday, Saturday. It was like that. And yeah, footy, okay, cool, we're gonna go play footy, all good. But then moving to Oz, it was just like, nah, bro, gotta work hard to get to training, get into a team and everything. So yeah, it was a challenge, but it was a challenge that I was up for. Like I was like, yo, I'm keen. I'm gonna show these girls what the Kiwi girls can do. Like I'm here for the Kiwis. That's how it felt. Like I was taking everyone with me. So every training I went, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be me. And it was like, yeah, I took the Kiwi side of me.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, like where I'm coming from.
Yeah. But it's good because there's probably some Kiwis that will watch this, and some young ones, especially if they want to crack it. They might want to go to Oz. So it's good to hear like that stuff for them, because it's not just a smooth journey when you go over there. You do have to work hard, and what I noticed as well, bro, their fitness is like another level way over there.
Oh man, I was like, I think the first training, it was funny because when I got there, I was like, is this your guys' feels?
Oh, no, did.
And they were like,
Stadiums,
yeah.
bro, stadiums.
They were like, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. I was trying to act like cool, like, all good. But I was like, really? Oh my God. It was like a stadium, like that's, see, yourself look like you when you go to another country and you're like, but yeah, they're training like places. I was buzzing out, and just they work effort, everything. It's not saying like we don't work hard over here, but like it's just a whole new level of how they run things, how they play, but or more aggressive, I reckon. Oh, what? But yeah, it was the main experience.
And that's so true about the fields, because I remember when I went to my first one at Panthers, shout out West Brisbane Panthers. When I went there, and they're like, "Oh, these are just our second grounds," and I was like, "Oh, sorry." They're like, "Yeah, we just use this for training," and they're like, "Why? Well, what's the big deal?" I was like, Oh, because you know our fields, we don't have gates. We don't have pay entry fee. Everyone just, everyone just comes with their car and parks up all around. Shout out Melford.
Oh man, even like the little things with the gears. When I got the gears, like you have to have the training shoes and everything.
Club level.
I walked up and I was like, "Oh, is this a soccer team?"
That's
They were like,
what
"No,
what club
this
was
is the
that?
team. No, this is the team. You're gonna get your gear soon." But when I got the gears, I was like, "Let's go!"
Oh no,
Oh
dude.
man.
But it's true there, because like over here, you'd be lucky if you get a training shirt.
Over here, yeah. Nah, but
No, but grateful.
grateful, and
But with the footy from over there, what kind of because they're rep teams and stuff, like before you even get to NRL,
mhm.
there's like some rep teams in between there that we
Yeah,
don't really have over here. Like we have, like it's not as big. Well, I don't reckon it's as big over here, the rep side. Like there's those one-off tournaments, the ones in Rotorua and that they have,
yeah.
but over there their one's slightly different. Like, so what was that journey like when you
Um, yeah. I think it's club, and then it's uh, when I was in
SEQ?
Brisbane, it was like a yeah. It was just the camp was huge. Like I think, oh man, there was heaps of girls there, and I'm thinking, what the hell is happening?
Yeah,
And so, I had, we had a couple of the girls like Sun and all of them in it. Um, but when I rocked up, so you get selected in your zone, like just like county, then Auckland, just like that.
yeah.
But nah, this one was, oh my gosh, it was everyone from freaking Queensland, like so Brisbane. So everyone was like the one that selected from the club. And everyone has gears. Like, let's go back to the gears. Like, you
Wait,
get
actual,
gears.
even if it's a camp,
This was the camp, and I'm just like thinking, what the hell?
yeah.
But everyone's just normal, like, oh yeah, it's another year. But I was just like,
For
I
those
was
that
buzzing
don't
out.
know,
I was,
for those that, that don't know, Kiwis are all about the gears. Like we don't even care if we don't get paid.
we need to tell them because I think some of the girls that would or would watch it would think, yeah, she was excited with all the kids.
Because over here, when I remember, like, if you make a rip team, you don't really care about, like if you get paid in it. Because let's be honest, you don't over here. But you get
Nah,
paid
we
by the
don't.
gears, and everyone be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yo, I bagged your gears after the tournament." So when
Yeah,
you go over
after
there,
like it wasn't really much of the pay or whatnot, but it was the gear.
yeah,
So yeah, that's one thing when I got into camp, they were like, yeah, you get your bag and your gear. I was like, so?
bag even.
But the first day you get there and I was just like, oh my god, there's so many people, I'm not gonna get picked. Like, all good, I'll just enjoy it. Sorry, pardon me, I'll just enjoy the experience. And then it goes to like each day there's a testing every day, so it's like fitness, body weight, and all of that, and then it comes to the trial game. And when it came to the trial game, I was so negative. I was like, oh my gosh, who the hell would want to pick me out of all the other girls? Like there was heaps. So there was, man, it was heaps. But I enjoyed it because like there was some Kiwi girls just like me that have moved over, but they've been there longer. Like obviously, like over them 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
But just the vibe that we had, I was like, hey, like even though they knew I was new, like from in there, they were still like welcoming and making sure that I was okay and everything. But I enjoyed it because everyone was there for the same reason. Like it wasn't like nah, I'm just here for myself. You know, at the same time, everyone was looking out for each other. But when it came to the trial game, it was like, nah,
Every man for
I'm
himself.
gonna take your position, kind of thing. So, it was scary, and it was challenging, and it was exciting because after the camp, I remember just messaging like my sister and telling her about it, like, bro, we get gas, the food is mean, and all of that. And then she was like, so when do you find out?
Because that's
And
another
she's like,
thing,
so
eh?
when do you,
You get fit there, eh?
yeah, so everything's paid for. And so when I told her, and then her answer was like, so when do you find out? I was like, that's not the point, man. I'm just saying, like, we went to this camp and everything was just paid for, and, you know, but yeah, it's, it's because, like, not the money side of things, but, like, Aussie is just on another level with their footy comps,
Yeah.
how they develop and everything and stuff. So, um, New Zealand, they're slowly coming up with nationals and everything, but I hope we take it to another level.
Yeah.
But yeah, grateful for the experience of camp, man.
Yeah. And then
Straight up.
after SEQ, for those that didn't know, Mugs made it, by the way. She made the SEQ team, but after that, obviously there's NRL, which is actually growing a lot since the first time. But you mentioned you were with the Dragons, but before the Dragons, you were with the Bronx. So how was your
Okay.
journey with the Broncos? Because for Broncos, I think Brisbane's massive in terms of the selection of how many girls that they can pick for that one team. So how was that?
I think it was after that, and then it was the State of Origin. I think that's where I don't know, probably got picked up from there, but it was a dream come true because I swear every time we watch footy with my brothers, I'm like, oh, just imagine the ladies had an NRL team. Like, I swear, like, I can even ring them. But yeah, well, I would always tell them, like, man, just imagine there was an NRL for the women. And they're like, it's not going to happen. I was like, sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. But just getting the phone call, the first phone call was, hey Max, this is the Brisbane Broncos coach, and I just thought, oh yeah, like he's just probably like just checking out players, you know, just not a contract or anything. But he was like, yeah, what's one thing that you need to work on with your footy? I swear, and I just said my fitness, and he laughed, and he goes, yeah, you're right. So do something about it, and then I'll give you a contract. And from there on, like after that phone call, I was running. Like, I think I was staying with Rena, you know Rena.
Yeah.
But before that, even like with staying with my cousin owner, I was running. Like, I was doing road runs. I was fine. I was literally training, and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, who are you? Who are you to train every day? And I was working. And then I got the phone call, and I didn't cry at first, but I was just like, nah, no way.
Yeah.
But then I think I rang my mum. I rang my mum first, but you know, she's typical for she didn't have no idea what was going on. So I called my brother, and he was like, wait, let me I'll go to the house and wait till everyone's there, then you can call again. And so I called them. My sister had me on loudspeaker, and I was like, I got a contract from the Brisbane Broncos, and they were like, yeah. So it was a dream come true for me. I was just like, bruh. But it was huge, but it was a big learning process for me. With being humble. Because that's huge for me. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm gonna cry. But my sister had always taught me this is, no matter what, you always gotta be humble. So, oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm crying. But it was like a reality check. Like, I think a lot of people that, you know, they become famous and whatnot, and then they change.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that player. I didn't want to be that girl that moved to Australia and just forgot about everything, about her roots, about her friends, about her family. So I made a promise to God that before this happens, that He would leave me and that I will still praise Him and I'll glorify Him. Um, and that's what I did. Like if you go on my Instagram page, I would, give Him praise and give Him all the glory, because I swear my journey there was a struggle, like I said, when I first moved there. So it was just huge that all a girl coming from South Auckland making this team and making it with girls that are big in Australia. Like you have Ali, all of those players. You have Voda Peters, she was another player that moved from New Zealand. But it was just a dream come true for me. And I remember going to sleep that night and just crying. Like, I'm sure Ona can hear me from, sorry, Ona's my cousin that I stayed with, but I'm sure she'd like, oh, weirdo. But I just remember crying and just saying, thank you, Lord. But I had this voice like, you haven't made it yet until you actually put on the jersey and play the game.
Yeah.
So from the phone call to that, it was just all up to me whether how much I wanted it. So, but yeah, it was a process of working hard, staying grounded, and glorifying God. Those were the three main things, and representing my family.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I cried.
You remember when monks actually got to show me around their locker rooms, and I was literally like a kid in a candy store. I was like walking around like, oh my gosh. I remember going up to yours and Wheeler's actual locker. I was like, are you the real Maitua? But for me, and that, like, I wasn't even a player there, but just being amongst that and seeing how real it was, like, you have your own locker room, like your own gym, your own recovery area. Like, what was your first response when you walked in? Were you just those like fair cool ones and like, oh yeah, cool, or were you quite like blown away? Like,
I was buzzing. Like I was like, excuse me. I was just like, I remember like even looking at Tawila like, gee, we made it. Like this is us. And because her locker was next to mine, so I was just like, oh. She just looked. She just looked at me, and we were just like, we had no words, but we were just like nodding our head, like. It was like a let's go moment, but I was speechless. I was just like, no, this is not happening. Like, I was just, honestly, I was just buzzing out. And I think some of the Aussie girls, they were looking at us Kiwi girls like, okay, relax.
Because it's but just we're all like, for them.
They were just like, oh, okay, like just looking at their locker, putting their stuff. But we were like, oh my gosh. But the Kiwi girls, they were buzzing out. But I think it's massive for us. Yeah. Like for the Kiwi girls to.
Because there was actually a few of your Kiwi friends that actually made that first Broncos team, hey?
Yeah. There was a few of us. I think it was Lily, Leta Mamau, Kami, Toru, Tawila Futumorala, and who's the other one? Voda Peters.
Yeah.
And cousin, I call her cousin. I just can't get her name. There was a few of us, yeah. And I think that's what made it mean. Was that we had Kiwi girls in the team.
Yeah.
Like, we helped each other during our journey. Like, straight up. If we saw someone that was lacking, we would be like, oh, you better pull your weight together or you're going back home. Like, we always made sure, checking up on each other. Like, man, if you're not training hard, or like, we're even keeping each other accountable for eating too, which was buzzing. I was like, sorry? But yeah, we were doing those little things like checking if we were okay, if we were homesick or whatnot. We were always there for each other. Even the Aussie girls, man, I swear, like the bond that we have with those Aussie girls is amazing. And I can honestly say they're like my lifetime friends now. Like I can literally message Ellie and be like, "Hi Ellie, what are you doing?" And she'll be like, "Oh, you're so annoying." Like, and Steph Hancock, like all those players, I have mad respect for them. No, you mad. But
For the two, for
it was
looking after you.
just, it was everything, man. Like, it was a dream come true, and having those girls welcome us. We just didn't want it to end, like, straight up. It was the best.
Because on that was the first year of NRL Derby, and
Yeah.
two things. One, what was your what did it feel like putting on the Broncos jerseys for the first time? And two, what did it feel like when you won?
I mean, the first time I put it on, it didn't really hit me. I was just like, okay, because I was sneaky and I went to the toilet and I put it on and like before everyone else. This was before we got getting our uniform and stuff. But I remember the first game was against the Dragons. Yeah, and I was just like, it didn't really hit me until we were running out. I was like, oh my gosh, I am literally running out in the Broncos jersey. But because one of my brothers, Jason, he's a big fan of the Broncos, so I was sort of like, if you can't live it, I'll live it for you. So I got you. But yeah, I was just like, I can't. I don't know how to explain it. It was just buzzing, man. Like,
Yeah.
and like I said, I always said it to my brother. Just imagine we had and look, it was the first. And when we won, I remember just looking for my siblings because my siblings flew over. My two brothers, their partners, and my sister, they flew over. But yeah, once when I just looked for them, I was like, where are they? But I was just so excited to ring my mum. That's all I wanted to do was just ring my mum.
Yeah.
But I remember when it finished, we sang the song and stuff. But when I was running to them, it was like we were all yelling and celebrating. But then I go, girls, remember who we started with? And honestly, they automatic just went on their knees, like they knew we had to pray. And I was just like, I can't. But like, I didn't even have to tell them. All I said was like, girls, remember who we started with? We're gonna finish. And I was just like blown away. Probably one of the highlights of that part is praying after the game. But yeah, it was just a blessing. And I just, it's buzzing. I still buzz out to this day.
And after the Bronx, obviously the second year, which is probably a trialing year for outside of footy as well. But actually, I think we were actually us and Lima we had just come from the lagoon actually because it was after SEQ weekend. And girls were waiting to get signed, knowing that the season was coming up. But obviously you signed with the Dragons, but there was a lot of it wasn't for those that think it was just a smooth process. Obviously there was a lot going on behind the scenes. But how did you feel? And I know this will help those that might go in the same situation that don't get selected for teams, like up and coming athletes and that. How did you feel when you weren't offered a contract at the Broncos? And yeah, we're gonna go there for those viewers. No, but for real, because we go real talk. But how did you feel when you weren't selected for the Broncos, and then the mental process of are you even gonna play NRL or what's happening? Because I think I was with you during that time, but yeah, what was going on in your head?
So I was actually at work when I got the phone call. And the phone call, I won't explain the phone call, but when I got the phone call, I was just like, really? did, like, is this actually happening to me? But I was cut, man. I was not gonna lie. I was cut, and I just remember thinking like, I do that laugh like, haha. I actually, I actually did that laugh after the phone call, and I walked off, and I was like, haha. Um, is that it? Like, I just laughed. I had that laugh. I was cut, and the other thing is like, oh yeah, they want to do this to me. Watch this. I was on that buzz, so I was like, I was a suck, but then I was like, yo, I'm gonna do something about it. But I had a choice. I actually went back to my desk at work, and I was like, look, you either be a suck about it, like, yeah, have your little moment now, and then rip it up, like, So, but the whole process of it, trying to process it every day, like, nah, they'll call me up again, like, nah, jokers. Like, I think it was like a whole week. It took me a whole week to process that, bro. You're not getting a contract from them. Like, just move on. And so that whole week I was being sick, and then I just moved on. Like, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on work. And me enjoying like my time with you guys, like with our friends and stuff. But yeah, it was one of the darkest moments of when I moved over. I have to say, it was just because coming from a high, like, and thinking like, okay, you're gonna you have a chance next year. But yeah, and then it got even worse because then I actually moved in with with our friend. But yeah, it was like trying to save my job, and then moving in with our mate, and then just trying to stay positive at the same time, and then trying to hide it from my family.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want them to know what I was going through. Like, I hid all of that. I was just like, nah, I'm just not gonna let them worry about it.
And it's like
But
that thing when you when you left New Zealand, and those people that were like, oh, you went last. It probably in
yeah,
that season that those voices probably came back even louder, and then you
um,
start to question yourself.
yeah, yeah, that was huge. Like, it just keeps saying, I just keep having those voices. But my faith just always saved me. Like, I just remember I was back to that crying every night and praying, and I was just feeding under, like, I was in and out of the boat, like, straight up. Like, I would go celebrate and just do all of that, and then back to the word, like. But yeah, I think what saved me and got me through that was is my faith, and always coming back home. Like, every time I come back home, man, my family had my back. Like, what a crying. But there's no better feeling when you've always, like, go back home, and that they've reminded me that I am Maitua Feterika. Like, there's no one that can say that, not a team or anything can break you. So
And we'd say that sometimes, like, we joke around, but
yeah, we
like,
joke around and say, who are you? That what I was saying, actually, is, who are you? But
and you'd be like, oh, like, laugh, laugh, laugh. But then it was like, no, who are you? And we'd wait
yeah,
for that person to fully say their full name. But it was also good because it's like a reminder. Like,
but yeah, it was that was I was saying, and it stuck with me till this day. It still does. Who are you? So I know, and I was there out loud. I am Maitua Feterika. So it was my faith, my friend, you guys, and it was my family that helped me get through that journey. Because honestly, it got so bad that I was like, I'm not gonna lie, like, suicidal and all of that. I started to feel like giving up, like, on that, August. I'm not gonna get picked. I'm useless. Who would want me in the team anyways? Like, all those. And I remember crying to Rena, which is one of our girls, and like, a message her, come in my room, and it was funny when we look back at it now. But I just broke down to her. I was like, I can't do. It was just so much high expectations. Like, you're gonna make this team. You're the man. You're a monkey. Blah blah blah. But then I remember if it was this one night, I just cried and I was like, girl, you better pick it up. You're gonna get signed, whether it will be tomorrow, next week, a month, a call is coming. There's a call coming. And I just remember it was like after that, like it was weird because like a few months I was like I'll be down and then I'll be happy. Like you would see it too. Like, you know, we would hang out. But I was that happy monkey and then I was depressed and happy, depressed. It was just a cycle. It wasn't until like a month before I got the call I was all good. You know, I think 2 months and then we had that, you guys did that surprise dinner for me leaving, but it was hard, man. I'm not gonna lie.
And that's good. The only reason why I wanted to talk on that because there's like some girls that obviously want to make it, like whether it's in league or union or whatever sport, but like it's like hearing it from someone that's made it. It's not always smooth sailing for some people. Some people they work hard, bang, they get it. But what do you do, or how do you cope mentally when you've done everything right and you still don't make it, or you've done everything real well and you get dropped? Like that, some people don't see that. Like, and guys are just starting to talk about it now, and like the All Blacks, our players are starting to be a bit more open. But you know, back when we were a little bit younger, like coming out of school and that, we didn't have anyone, that would talk about this stuff because like not being cocky, but most of the time growing up, you'd make a team because you'd work hard and you make a team over here. But going over there, things really change, and then when you experience that rejection, that messes with your mindset big time. And you talk about like feeling suicidal and stuff like that, which is for both of us, mental health is a huge topic that is like dear to our hearts and like want to see change and stuff. How have you coped not just with footy but other struggles? How have you coped with mental health, or what are some? Don't have to go hard out in depth, but like what are some scenarios that you've been through that really tested your mental health?
For me now is what that's helped me get through is I must have a support system, which is always my family and my guild. But it having that alone time with yourself, like that checklist, like, gee, are you all good? If you're not, speak up and do something about it. Like, so for me, if something with my mental health, I always would block everyone out and anything, and I always remind myself of my dad. So I think, oh my gosh, why are we doing this again? But I always thought of him. If he was here, would you give up? So it was, if something was to happen, I would put myself outside the box and act like he was there with me and be like, if I was here, what would you do? And I know if he was here, I would not like give up or anything. So I think it's just, I always go back to my father, or just relate back to someone that you really love and that you just dedicated to them. Your support system, which is always my siblings, they always checked up on me. And having that faith, because my faith, like, people would be like, oh, she's an actor. But I think, my faith had helped me with my mental health, everything that I've been through. It's because that's why every time I talk about him, I just cry, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today or be the person I am today. But I think it's that feeling of how bad do you want it? Like, are you gonna look back and think you've come so far now and you're gonna give up? So I just keep reminding myself, why did you start and how bad do you want it? And at that darkest moment, I always think of my dad. Like, I don't know if it will relate to someone that, have lost someone, or like if you haven't, or like someone close to you. Like, if they were in your position or with you, what would you do? So I just keep thinking of my dad. Like I always do when I make a team or like in life, what I'm going through. I always think of him, and I just think if he was here, I wouldn't, think that or give up. So I just encourage anyone that going through, if you've been dropped from a team or if you're stuck somewhere, just remember why you started and how bad do you want it. Like, don't just throw it away, man. Like, hold on, because I did. And it's going to be hard and it's going to be rough, but there's a process and, like, there's a purpose for your pain. But, yeah, I just think that's my free is someone you love so much, a support system and my faith. Yeah, straight up.
Having that alone time because now you dropped the mic. No, but you talked about having that alone time, and I can testify for that as well. When you're going through stuff, like there's two sides. Like there's the one where I just want to block everyone now. My friends on Do Not Disturb. I'm deleting my Instagram. There's angry ones. I don't want to talk to anybody. Blah blah blah. But then there's the other side of having to have that alone time, but being okay with that time, because sometimes people don't want the alone time because they don't want to be left with them and their thoughts, and that's like a hard place to be. But that's good that you mentioned it, because so many people would be like, oh no, they'll either go with the whole shutdown, or the other way is like having heaps of people around them and just acting like it's all good, because soon you're like, yeah, everything's good. Everything's good.
Fine. Yeah.
But when that door closes and the lights off, who's the one that's crying on the floor? That's so true. But
I think. Sorry, I think there's, like you said, there's two sides. Like one just blocking everyone out, and then one is checking yourself and asking like. And it's okay not to be okay. Like, sometimes I'm like, I have a moment, but then you have to step out and just be like, check your checklist. Like, you got this, you got to do this, and you got to pull through, like, just self-talk. So I really enjoy my alone time. Like, it sounds weird, but it's important to have that alone time and to check your list, man. Rip it up.
Fire just coming with all these things, just drop the mic. Hey. No, but it's good though, because like even like lately mom would be quite similar to yours, with the support system and stuff, and like heaps of people will like put that thing up, like it's okay not to be okay, but actually letting people know that it is actually okay to be okay, like to not be okay, because like especially with mental health these days, like it is so common for people just to say we're good, and like especially if you're going through a tough time, it's like you compare yourself to how others might be going through a similar situation. So for example, if I got dropped from a team and you got dropped from the team from this around the same time, it's easy in this day and age to be like, oh well, Monkey got over it within a month, so I can't go any longer, because but it's being okay with that process, because everyone goes through it at different times and they process it different.
It's a deep topic, man. Like, and I know there's a lot of girls that go through this, like getting chopped from the team, want to make a team,
and injuries too.
Injury, like setbacks and all of that. And then they just think like, nah, man, my last chance and everything. But I think just having that support, even if it doesn't even have to be a group of people, like even if it's just your best friend, like that one person you can trust, is just telling them like, look, someone that you trust, someone that loves you and trusts you and cares for you, that you just open up to them no matter what the situation is, it can be a good conversation or bad, but just letting it out to them and don't hold it in and like, because I'm a person that overthinks. You know me, like I would anxiety. I would just think and pile it all up and then make it a big deal. And then it comes when I actually talk to the person, they're like, "Gee, you're just way off."
Yeah.
So I think that was part of my thing too. Is anxiety, depression, um, being alone, and I was like, yeah, my family, they were there, but not physically. So it was a really tough time for me, as being alone and trying to deal with it by myself. But yeah, anyone out there that's going through this is have someone that you can trust to talk to, and it's okay not to be okay,
Yeah.
and try, like, don't try again, like, don't just give up easily. You always second chances, and you never know, like, get you from the team that did, and I always believe this, that everything happens for a reason. So if it wasn't your time in the first time, God is, going to bless you with another chance and another path. So
Yeah.
don't give up.
Yeah. And what do you call it? This year, obviously, it was gonna be. I don't know if it will be anymore because of the COVID-19, but NRLW, if it was to go ahead this year, would, because you had a really good time with the Dragons. Hey, yeah. What was it like in Dragons compared to Bronx? Because obviously different. Obviously,
uh,
different girls, so the
the,
vibe would be different. Hey,
the vibe was good. It was like, so when I made the Dragons, I told myself, look, you're not going to compare the teams. You're Dragons now, so everything has to be about Dragons. Not like, oh, this happened last year, how come it this? I told myself, no, you're not going to compare. You're just going to go hard out for Dragons. And I told myself, I think around that time I was hardly online, like, posting. And I just told myself, gee, you're going to go out there and just smash it out. Like, don't care about any of your haters, don't care about anyone, but you're going to go out there and play your game. That's honestly what I told myself. Like, you're going to enjoy this year. Okay, last year was, yeah, you won, but this year's a new year, new goals. Yeah, and I enjoyed it, man. Like, became close with a lot of the Aussie girls. Holly, Katie App. Yeah.
now you
They
just do
were.
your shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to all my Dragons girls.
Well,
But it
but
was a yeah.
that was because for those that don't know, you were in Brizzy at the time when you got your contract with Dragons, and then Dragons obviously is not in Brisbane, so that was another move. Like, because you moved from New Zealand to Australia, and then you're gonna go from Brisbane to then Sydney or wherever that was.
Sydney.
There was like another one, but you had been through the big move, so was it a bit easier to move for the Dragons this time, or was it almost like repeating?
Um, I think for me it was easier because I had more family in Sydney.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, I think because I was already connected with my cousins in Sydney, and like they've been telling me, like, just move here, man, just do it. But I was waiting on a call, like, until something big happens that will make me move to Sydney, then I'll move. And it wasn't, if it wasn't for the Dragons, I would have still been in Brisbane. Like, so I was waiting for that big, what's gonna make me move is if I make a team or if someone signs me, I'm gonna move to Sydney. So once I got the contract with the Dragons, I was like, yep, I'm gonna move. And plus, for me, like, you know me, I went through a lot in Brisbane. I just think for me, I just needed a new start, like new team, new year, yeah, new city, new everything, new life, new attitude. But yeah, I think it wasn't that much of a difference moving
yeah.
because before that I really went to Sydney for 3 weeks and I was just enjoying my time with my cousin. Shout out to my cousin Tina Wills. I'm just casually doing my shout out. But yeah, I think It was
There was
it came
actually
from
a
me.
question that came through on my Instagram last week because you seem to
What?
be flying here, flying there, flying there. So what bank do you bank that allows you to fly back home, fly over here, fly? Because I'm just asking for a friend because I had a cheeky comment like, oh, it'd be nice to
Oh
fly
my
here.
god, I wasted a lot of money on freaking flights, and it's just stupid. Could have signed up with air points, would have just had free flights. But no, it was just all me. It was all God. God provided.
Shout out to all monkey
Oh,
brothers.
I don't know. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, God bless me that I was actually able to. Last year, I traveled like back 7 times because I went back through my
7.
Instagram. Yeah, 7.
Yeah, yeah.
But 7 times, and it was just a lot of money, but it was worth it. I swear, worth
Yeah.
the time coming back home.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
another serious question. When did you pick up your Aussie slang and your accent? For those that don't know,
yeah.
we used to mock
Oh
each
my
other
gosh, if my cousins watch this, they're gonna be like, yeah, ask it.
because we'd be in a conversation.
People are gonna think I'm not fake, okay? I've been there for a while now.
We'd be in a
No,
conversation
I
and
think it's just,
Monkey would be like,
I am
that was
the
mad
worst
ass.
sport, man. That is a but I don't know. I think
And
it's there.
while we're on that topic, is it a chilipin or is it a nasty?
Oh man, we're going
People
off
wanna
topic,
know.
but no, it's who you hang out with, okay? I got a lot of friends. No name Salah if you watch this, but honestly, it's just you won't know until you move over and you hang out with all.
If you know, you know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Next topic, next question. Yeah.
Because when you watch this back, you're actually gonna notice how many times you've said what not.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, you're
Yeah.
from Sydney, so shout out to
I'm from
Western boys.
Sydney, yeah.
No, but just as we like start to wrap it up, just a few last questions. What would you say to 18-year-old Monkey? That's not even meant to be a
No way. 18-year-old monks. Don't be a fear boko. Don't bots it. No, is whatever opportunity that you get, go for it. Take any risks. And don't be afraid to fail. Like, that's the one thing that I've learned along the way is, take the risk, don't be afraid to fail. And always, always, always remain humble, no matter what.
Yeah. Hard. And coming out of ISO, I think you've got a few days left. What are you most excited about?
I'm excited to see my mom. I'm so excited to just give her a hug, and to see my siblings and my nieces and nephew. It's been so long. Like, I'm just getting emotional talking about it because I missed them so much, and that's the reason why I came back to see them. Obviously, to live with them again, but I can't wait. It's been ages since I actually given them a hug and to tell them that I love them. They're going to be annoyed with me in the first 2 hours. I just can't wait to see my family and what my next job's going to be. I swear it might be at Pack and Save. So anyway, I can. So I'm excited to see my family and to see what God's going to do for me next once I leave this hotel.
If you're working at Pack and Save, please don't be on the mic.
But I actually don't mind if I work there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shut up.
Okay.
What's wrong with working at Pack and Save? Like, I literally, I have a feeling that God is like, nah, I'm going to put you in that position to humble you.
No, it's not that. It's you know, when it's about to close and they have those things over the intercom. I can just imagine you. Hey guys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, nah.
No,
That's
but
why I'm
then
excited.
and just before I get to the last question, we had a few people. Nah, not those ones. But I heard you're a bit of a
No way.
TikTok fan over there.
No, you know, I'm just, I like watching them, but I don't do it often. Like you, if you see my page, I don't have much video.
I can
I'm just
see
too,
the
I
eyes
can't,
of the hello group right now.
I can't, I'm a freestyler, sorry. I can't keep up. Like, I don't, I have all the time here to learn it, but I'm just like, nah, I can't.
Yeah.
Maybe when I get home with my siblings, then I'll do it. But no, I'm not a fan of TikTok.
Not a
I'm an
fan.
Instagram freak.
Hey guys, follow me on.
No way.
Crack on. And last question for the podcast. In 5 years' time, it's a long time ahead. Well, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully got kids now. I think being a cop, if not serving the community, helping out in the community with in the hood. Kids, married, hopefully. But and also is giving back to the footy community, like giving back to where it all started.
Yeah, because you did a bit of that in Brisbane. Hey, so with the Goodna team, shout out to GFC.
Shout out.
No, but yeah, thanks heaps for your time today, Monks. Not that you've got anything else to do because you're locked up.
Locked up, they won't let me. No, thank you for having me.
You to sing, but actual for real, thanks for your time, for being honest and dramatic with your crying. But
Bruh, you know it's real when you see if you see me crying, then that is the real me. Everyone knows. If you know, you know. I'm the sook of of everyone.
Yep. No, but for real, because it's good that you're being honest today, because in this day and age, I feel like a lot of people, especially athletes as well, they don't get the opportunity to share what it's like behind the cameras, behind the crowds, or with the lights switched off. What are they really like? So it's good because I feel like a lot of people that are watching this or who look up to you as an athlete, they'll be inspired in that from your story. So thanks for being real with the people. Any last words? Any last shout outs?
Shout out to my family. I'm coming home now. But I just wanted to say thanks, also. Just letting everyone know Nelly was actually one of my friends that helped me get through my journey in Oz. So also just want to say thank you so much for being there. You still are to this day. I appreciate our friendship, and I'm so excited for what God got planned for you. So keep up this podcast going, and I'm sure you know a lot of footy players that would love to jump on this, and so you can help people and our young generation get through their dark days. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. And it was cool actually pouring out my heart and just being real. Not much people can go online and share their story and testimony, but for me personally, like when I share my story, I don't need the whole world to be blessed by it, but just as long as one soul is saved or blessed by it. So hopefully anyone out there can relate to it. And yeah, thanks for having me. Don't be afraid to fail, and remember to always stay humble.
But yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Lights Off podcast. And if you liked it, please like and comment below. It's going to be
all good.
no, dude. But yeah, cheers. See you next time.
Bye.